Hey everyone. Hey, I gotta see you. There we go. We're going to do a live today and we're going to be talking about December predictions. Apparently I can't spell. And we're going to look at predictions for you as well. So I'm just going to see if I can change predictions. That's okay. We're going to take a look at what's going to go on this week. And this is December, right? We're starting into the week of December tomorrow. And December is a kickoff to 2025, which is astrological per se, but we want to look at astronomy as well. And I really didn't prepare back. There we go. I don't want, here we go. I don't want to scare you guys for 2026. And there isn't anything scary for 2026, but there's going to be some very important changes that are going to be happening, not only with politics, but also with AI, what's going on with the world, and all kinds of disclosure. So we've got to wrap up 2025 in December. And what does that mean? Well, the first thing is we're going to take a look at global predictions. Okay, so for December of 2025 signals a transitional phase for world affairs. We're going to wrap things up. Now, the end of November, I said that there was going to be a predominant person that was going to have a court case around it, and it was going to be made public, and everybody would be watching. I thought it was going to be the Charlie Kirk one. That hasn't come to fruition. I'm just going to take note that hasn't come to fruition. Also, in October, I had said there was going to be a, what do you call it? Either like, not a tsunami, but like an earthquake that was going to affect the waters on the Baltic Sea. Have not seen results of that yet either. Sometimes they've been delayed. I have had that happen before. And I want to talk to you about what's going to be happening, the upheavals that are going to be happening in the economic realignment, because Rahu is in Aquarius and its ingress in Aquarius. So this is around disillusionment, but it's also around compassion. I believe in the full moon, which is December 4th, which is the week coming forward, that we are going to have it's a cold full moon or an ice full moon. And this is what's going to possibly bring up climate accords and tech alliances. There will be a release expected to create some geopolitical tension that will become apparent in mid-month when Jupiter and Saturn trine. This fosters a diplomatic breakthrough. Again, I believe it's related to AI, saying if you do this, that, and the other, there's no problem with climate change or climate crisis or climate anything. But if you don't do this, that, or the other, there's going to be trouble. And I believe somebody will bring that forth. Somebody quite popular, probably a podcaster, will bring that information forward. But then all of the experts are going to debunk it. I want to talk about what happened with a solar flare on November 28th that brought down 6,000 Airbuses. A friend of mine shared it with me because she knows what I do. And she's like, I thought you would think this was interesting. And I was like, yeah, I'm flying out in 3 weeks. So this is kind of freaking me out. So I thought I'm going to go down the rabbit hole. And my first impression was that there's something fishy about this. So what I did was I went to, and I'll share the screenshot probably in comments, or I'll share it later. I want to just get this done first. And November 28th, it's called spaceweather.something.com. And when I looked it up, that day, there is no evidence of anything happening. I mean, the graph is gone. It's been scrubbed, is what I'm trying to say. That day with the sun flares has been scrubbed. I grokked it and I said, what up with this, Grok? And it's, sometimes it happens. They're not able to get the information properly and the website is glitchy and all. I'm like, really? Right on that. Only that day. You can look before, you can look after. Everything's fine. And they didn't have time to fix it. So the what are they hiding? What evidence are they hiding? And the solar flares were of an average to medium magnitude. Nothing outrageous at all. It's a cover-up story, is what I'm trying to say. And this is what's going to continue. And it's only going to be a few of us that will get a sneak peek at it. It's like we'll see something and we'll be like, oh, and then it'll just disappear. Like no one's going to keep track of it. No one's going to continue with the news. No one's going to know what's happening. And so this could trigger hidden conflicts. And this is going to be around December 12th of this year, such as a cyber disruption or a maritime incident, because it's echoing K2. It's a karmic exposure. And it happens to be, well, K2 is in Leo. And it's interesting because we've got Regulus, which I talked about, the fixed star, which is going to be predominantly in April, which is according to Bledsoe, Chris Bledsoe, that there's going to be some people say a second coming. Some people are saying, I'm saying there's going to be disclosure. Aliens are literally going to go, or higher power is literally going to go, hey, here we are. Stop talking about us. Here we are. And what's also going to happen is this global innovation is surging in advancement at high speed. So December is setting that up. The AI, the quantum advancements is happening behind the scenes. And all of December, I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't another government shutdown. It'll be labeled as holiday, it's a holidays, let's take a break, we've worked so hard. But behind the scenes, they're going to be looking at, okay, this is coming, this AI, this quantum advancement is coming. What are we going to do about it? How are we going to be able to manage this? And that's going to be around the new moon, which will be December 20th. And it's literally like emergency meetings for the last 2 weeks. And it's urging for humanitarian reforms. This is going to upheaval all of humanity. How are we going to manage this? Because it's going to be sensitive. Okay. There's also going to be a natural event. It increases the activity near water bodies, and that's because of Pisces Saturn and balanced by Venus in Sagittarius, and it's promoting a cultural unity by the end of the year. A cultural unity by the end of the year. What cultural do we want unity for that is surrounded by water? I would say Gaza. So take a look at that. I think Egypt is going to get involved eventually, or Saudi Arabia. But then we got political predictions, because in Vedic astrology or sidereal astrology, which is what I do, guys, if you look it up Western, you're not going to see any of this. Okay, this is what's called astronomy astrology. It's based on where the stars are right now. So for December, there's a strategic maneuvering and a revelations for leaders. And that's what's happening. A lot of the leaders are going, who are we going to pair up with? It's like when you were in the classroom, you said, come on, everybody, pair up, make your own little teams of 4. And then we're going to create a game. And that's what it is. They're basically going to have their teams. And that's what's happening around the Sun Sagittarius entry in December 15th. And this is empowering ethical governance and against empowering governing monetary system. And that's going to be the difference. There's going to be the ones like Russia, China. They're not going to come across as we're doing this for humanity. We're doing this for the best of our people. But Saudi Arabia is going to be more of technology. Dubai, all that area is going to be saying this is for technology, but we want to make sure that AI does good and not bad. And then there's going to be the more resource countries like Canada. They're going to say, hey, we care about humanity. Look at all the resources we have to give to who? Well, we'll just free for all. We'll just give it to whoever needs it, and we'll negotiate with you. So there's no real team. It's like Canada wants to be on all the teams, so to speak, which I think it's kind of spreading yourselves a bit too thin, Canada, but I'm Canadian. I'm allowed to say that, I think. We want to take a look at this power vacuum that's going to happen around scandals. And it's in the democratic nations such as US, EU, and elections echo on the Indian coalition strains, Saturn in Pisces testing alliances. But Jupiter in retrograde, which is December 7th, I know I'm bouncing around here, guys, it revises policies on communication and media and potential delaying of reforms for exposing misinformation, which what that means is because Mercury goes retrograde December 1st, which is, it goes direct December 1st, which is tomorrow, but we want to wait till it goes back to its original place, which is around December 10th. So I believe December 10th is when they're going to try to implement strict media restrictions, boundaries. And I've got a client in Australia. It's already happening. She has to inform her teenage daughter tomorrow that anyone under the age of 16, she's 14, is not allowed to use social media, not allowed to use and I don't know if it's just in school, maybe you guys can, or it's all the time. Like if she goes into a McDonald's and she's caught scrolling or doom scrolling on her phone, she could get arrested. Or what's going to happen? The parents get arrested. I mean, it's not going to work, guys, but this is what they're going to try to do because they don't want us communicating with each other. They don't want us talking with each other. There is going to be charismatic figures leading to leadership transition. And this is reminding me of when Hollywood sort of came out when the elections were going on and they were like, don't vote Trump, vote Trump. And they were getting involved in all of that geopolitical tension, which was ridiculous. And it worked, I think, for some people, or it created a team, created teams, created the divide. Right? And you guys, I talk about the Great Divide all the time, and it's happening right now. And so this Jupiter retrograde in Gemini is going to revise policies around communication and media. And that's what I think Canada is going to set boundaries for their teenagers. State by state, it'll be different. It's going to happen in Australia, which is a testing ground as well. But mid-December is when they're going to roll it out as, let's see how the people react to this. So this is a karmic. In December 28th, there's a Venus-Sun conjunction, and this heralding in an optimistic year-end summit. So overall, this is a karmic audit for politicians, those embracing Saturn discipline, rise, and ego-driven ones falter. I believe that this time that they're going to be taking off it's going to, again, everyone's creating their teams, who's going to team up in the world, and it's going to create a divide again amongst the people. Who do we want to be a part of? I am Team Canada. Team Canada is spreading themselves thin, so they're accepted by every country. Do I accept that or do I not? Do I feel that that's going to be the falter or the break away of Canada? This doesn't give us a firm foundation, really. And then I want to look at your personal predictions, and I'm going to do some readings here after. I want you guys to put in your birth information so I can take a look at what's going on with you right now. How are you going to herald in the new year of 2026? I encourage you to go to askhollyhall.com and just get a mini reading. They're $30, right? $33. It's nothing. It's peanuts. And I talk 15 minutes nonstop. Like I've already been on for 15 minutes and look how much I've said. Pretty much told you everything that's going on in the world in 15 minutes in December. And imagine what I can talk about you. And it won't be just talking about 1 month. It'll be talking about your entire life. When I was on the Jimmy Church show, I talked a lot about destiny and how it's really important to understand your destiny and why you're here and the reason that you're here. And I had a lot of readings. I'm actually backed up on destiny readings because people want to know. And I love it. I'm glad you guys want to know. On a personal level, December 25th is reflective, a reset. You're looking at, 2025 was okay, but I want 2026 to be over the top when it comes to my career and monetary system. And some of you guys that are really anchoring on, and you got a tight grip on wanting your financial situation to be of abundance, And you call it financial freedom. I just want enough money to have freedom. It does the exact opposite, guys. I am living testimonial to it. I am a nomad. We do not own a house. What we do have we're down to 4 vehicles now. We're looking at another one, so we might be at 5. We got a fifth wheel, we got a sports car. My husband's trying to sell it, by the way, and a snowmobile and a summer slingshot. Yes. And now we're looking at a travel trailer because our fifth wheel is not a travel trailer, but they're all paid for. Everything's paid for, and the new one will be paid for. And people ask me, how do you manifest money? And I manifest stuff, not just money. I manifest stuff. Okay. So we're on a vacation for 1 month in Florida, manifested it. I paid $1,000 for the entire month in this beautiful, almost mini mansion of a place in Florida. And it can happen. I do it all the time, and I love it. And I manifested you guys being here. And that's what about manifesting is you got to really have gratitude for what you manifest every single day. This podcast right now, I'm manifesting. I woke up this morning. I didn't feel well. My husband was sick for 3 days. I was like, I ain't doing this. And I've got this electromagnetic frequency thing. And I wore that all day. I just rested. I did some editing. I did some readings, recordings. And now I feel fine. Right. I mean, I manifested that. And if I do have an illness, I manifested that too. You manifest the garbage too. Sorry, guys. So once you own the fact that you manifest, you can continue to manifest and you can watch it unfold. And even when things are negative for me, I look at it like somehow this is part of the big picture and it's necessary. So a lot of things don't bog me down anymore. Very rare. I actually kind of like on a high most of the time. I manifest when I eat, right? I'm on a raw food, 80%, 80, 90 raw food diet right now. And I'm manifesting that. And it's giving me an energy on top of energy I already had. I'm manifesting that. When people say, I've got health issues, well, you can manifest it and you can manifest it to change. We do store, and I see that when I do astrology readings, we do store pain and trauma, even karmic trauma, generational trauma in different parts of our body. It's actually been proven. You can take a look at Mayim Balik. Breakthrough is her podcast. Breakdown and Breakthrough. Breakdown is her podcast. She's Amy from Big Bang Theory, guys. Anyway, she just had an expert on that talks about it, and he's not woo-woo. He's a neuroscientist, and he only looks at the biology of the body. And he accidentally, to his surprise, found that we do store memory or pain in parts of our body. And when it comes out, when it comes to surface, when you're in physical pain, it's because you are manifesting the healing. So it's got to come out. So on a personal level, this is a reflective reset, and it's ideal for healing detachment and non-attachment. So the Leo detachment is about ego. So check in with your ego. Check in with your ego this month. From December 7th onward, this is encouraging revisiting unfinished goals in learnings, in relationships, and that's going to be highlighted around up to December 10th. So up to December 10th, because we're still in this reset of our Mercury retrograde, things are going to feel a bit foggy because it's in its shadow. Mercury retrograde is in its shadow. And so you want to avoid contacts. You want to use more introspection. You don't want to mingle. You want to be more intimate with your intimate friends and your intimate family members. Or maybe you just want alone time. Or you're witnessing how alone 2025 has been and you want to manifest something differently. That takes courage. But mid-month, Jupiter Saturn trine brings grounded opportunity and career advancements. Yay. Now, this is for earth signs and this is for fire signs. So this brings emotional clarity, but emotional clarity for water and for air signs. So the sun is in Sagittarius, December 15th. Remember, I do sidereal astrology, and this ignites your sense of purpose. You want to pursue travel. You want to pursue spiritual pursuits. But Mars and Neptune square kind of warns of boundaries, sort of breaching, taking a look at your intimate health. What kind of relationship do you have with your health? That's what intimate health means. You have health issues. We all have health issues that come and go. What is your relationship with that? So the new moon, December 20th, this seeds manifestation in beliefs. And by Venus and Sagittarius in December 28th, this sort of sweetens romance and finances. This favors bold risks. So from the 15th onward, I want all of my earth fire signs to boldly go where no man has gone before. Take those chances. Spring into the future. Now I can manifest my future. What is it that I want? I'm going to have that conversation with my boss. I'm going to talk to my husband about how I want things to change. Or not, or else. Or I will have to find my own happiness another way, whether it includes you or not. Okay. How can I look at myself? How can I turn this inward and go, well, what can I change myself in order to do this? I'm going to be doing a whole podcast after this. It'll just be a voice one, right? It'll just be audio. But I'm going to be talking about the Great Divide, which includes the Great Reset. And I believe I've got either 8 or 12 episodes already queued in, ready to talk about. It's going to be on my Substack, but it will also end up on Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube as well. Not Amazon, Apple. So one of the remedies for favoring bold risks and remedies for healing what is keeping you from taking a look at your emotions and your feelings, which is water and air. Water has no problem looking at their emotions. Air, they put it right in their logical compartment right here. You want to know your whole signs, your whole chart. You may be a Leo, but you got a ton of Cancer in your chart. So you really act more like a Cancer, or your rising is Cancer, or your moon is in Cancer in a water sign. So you'll be completely different than what Leo is. And you can diagnose this by saying, I don't feel like my sun sign, which might be your Western version, so you may not be that. But I don't feel like my sun sign. I wonder what else is in my chart. Go to astro.com, look it up for free. Okay, so the remedy is Om Namah Shivaya, right? I'm probably butchering that, but Om Namah Shivaya, right? Or it might be Shivaya. I know Om Namah for sure. And this is for K2 Rahu balance. It donates a black sort of, it takes away the black energy that Saturn can bring us, the heavy, ritualistic, boundary set, hardworking, drill sergeant Saturn energy. But you want to tailor it to your moon. So if you've got a fiery moon, you want to make bold career moves. If you got a watery moon, you want to have inner peace to bloom. If you have an earth moon, you want to make a practical, rational, step-by-step plan in December for 2026. And if you've got as it was fire, water, if you have an air moon, you want to have conversations with people. Start connecting with people. Start creating some partnerships. Create some relationships around you. Everybody is so stuck on, but consult your personal chart for this. Everybody is so stuck on what is it? I see everybody. I know you want to have your birth charts done. I'm going to give that soon. And I want to see if SC is still in the room. Will gold and silver drop in price? No, it's going to go up. So buy now. It's going to go up, and specifically between what I'm getting clairvoyantly or remote viewing is between March and June. Hi, One Love from Ontario. And Sally, I want to know if you're still here too, and I'll do a quick reading for you as well. Silver, we bought silver. It's really expensive to buy gold. We bought some smaller crypto. but that's on my husband's end. I don't see crypto lasting long. I don't see it as our currency in the long haul. I don't. Was there a big jump in gold and silver? Yeah. I was suggesting that everybody buy around after October 20th, to sell before October 20th and purchase after, because there was going to be it was just going to tank. And that's when we did, when it went down. And silver is just going to continue to go up, specifically in Canada. And I don't know why. It's just going to go up exponentially. Now, what I want you guys to take a look at is how can you change your relationship with the monetary system. I was just watching, is Jesse something? Let me take a look. So I was watching Joe Rogan. Hi, CRB. If you guys would like a mini reading, I did the whole predictions for December. It's already happened. And CS, I'd like to, or SC, I'd like to know if you've purchased some silver. We did quite a bit. So we'll see what happens. The reason why is because silver is going to be used in technology. And AI will let us know at the beginning of the first 3 months, AI is going to let us know everything we need to do. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that's the secrecy. It already has, right? It already has. And there isn't just one AI. Everybody in the world, every political hierarchy in the world has their own access to their own AI. Now, there's lower versions of AI. Silver is better for profit, yeah. And everyone will have access to that, and everybody will make it. But they'll be the ones that are actually developing. If you don't think there isn't one political party or one government out there in the world, and there's probably hundreds, right, that isn't developing their own, if they're a developing country, if they're a modern country, if they're a westernized country, if they're not developing their own, then you're fooling yourself. If you guys think there's only one out there that has only the one answer, then you're fooling yourself. There's going to be hundreds of models, and they're going to continuously be improving. And then as Joe Rogan and Jess Michaels, right? So it's Jesse, and Michaels is Michels. Joe Rogan is on there. It's his first being interviewed ever, I think. And they talk a lot about the quantum computing system. And that's what's going to take over the monetary system, is the quantum. And the ones that they're not in the battle. That's why I say Saudi Arabia is going to be one of the leading edges on that. And I've been saying this for quite some time. I've been saying this for over a year. And recently, who talked about it? Oh, Mo Gawad, who used to be the CEO in technology department. I'm probably butchering that up, but in ex-Google, also Microsoft before that, and regular Google before that. And he is Egyptian by his heritage, and he's really in cahoots with Saudi Arabia. I think he's got a second home there. He spends a lot of time there. And he is in conversations with them about a quantum computer and AI. And the thing is that this is a country, according to him as well, that's not greedy. They just want it to be what's best for humanity. And as I had predicted in other predictions, they're going to start bringing in anybody in the world who has a medium income, who wants to live there and grow with them. The other thing we want to take a look at, and this is, like, a lot of people are saying, oh, the Western is that Pluto is moving into Aquarius. So now this is the age of Aquarius. That has nothing to do with the age of Aquarius, Pluto. Pluto has actually been in Capricorn back and forth since 2020. And that's when the powers that be were taking over. And that's when we realized that we were being controlled in many, many ways. So you think about what happened to you in 2020. Where were you at politically, geographically, personally, business wise, and even where, companies were telling you can't work, stay home. That's all level of control, because they're your bosses, right? They're your employers. And then it hit like it stayed in Capricorn around 2022, and then it's been there ever since. So we're taking, and also Pluto in Capricorn in those 2 years was doing a Pluto return in the United States, was going through Pluto return. Very, very important. So this is a division of power. This is, we have the power, we're going to take the power, and there's the other side is we're taking our power back. You can't have power over us. And so going back to Saudi Arabia, they got a lot of money. They don't need more money. They don't need more power. It's not what their agenda will be. Their agenda will be, how can we make our system where we live and who we're associated with a smoother, more advanced system? And they'll use AI to do that. Once we see that success, because trust me, in the Western world, they're going to keep it under wraps. I'm literally looking at, how can I get news from Saudi Arabia so I can find out what's going on there? And I did have somebody argue with me that, isn't that where they, cut your hands off if you steal? And there's a very strict religion that some people are against. There's the larger religion, and then there's the radicals within that religion. Yeah, the radicals you want to be very, very aware of and keep yourself safe from, but they're not all the radical religions. And this is not about religion. This is about a monetary system. And they're kind of going to usher in the Jetsons lifestyle, right? And I want you guys to take a look at what's going on the world theater with AI. If you're nervous about it, you can keep coming back to my, subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to YouTube is where it's always going to be. And I will put shorts and stuff like that on TikTok. This is sort of my new, ushering in 2026. This is my new way of working with 2026. And take a look at what's going on. What I really found intriguing and shocking is the history that Joe Rogan, since he started his podcast, like, he is like an encyclopedia now. He is so smart. I have to say, at the beginning, it was like, you're bringing on all these really smart people and you're asking some interesting questions. But now he's like this database of information because of all the people that he's interviewed. And he's wickedly, I don't think he doesn't give himself credit. He's definitely not the geniuses, some of the geniuses in their expert fields that he talks about, but really well-rounded in all this information. So he was starting to talk about the history of mankind, which was kind of brought forward with the pseudo-archaeological expert Graham Hancock and a few other ones, Randy Carlson, etc. And that there is evidence that we may have lived thousands and thousands of years in a lifetime. And AI is telling us, this is what he did on the show. It just came out 6 hours ago, that AI has predicted that if you can live to be 90, like right now, the age that you are, if you can live to be 90, okay, so Joe Rogan is around in his late 50s. If you can live to be 90, you will go through the era where you'll be able to live forever. Do you want to live forever? I'm going to leave you with that. Do you want to live forever? That, I don't know. You're going to live forever with the same person? It's going to change the dynamic of relationships, don't you think? It's going to put us back into the dynamic that I saw, remote viewed years ago, that there's a planet where there's no attachment to specific relationships, specific jobs, specific financial, specific family. And I don't know if I'd want to live forever. I really don't. I like the idea of reincarnating and coming back in a different avatar and a different body and meeting maybe my partner in a different avatar, in a different body, and maybe my daughter in a different, because I want them to come back with me. I kind of, in getting a break in between. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I want to live forever. I would, if we have the opportunity to live forever, I think I'd want a choice. And then we're going back into the Matrix where they had the pods. Maybe the choice is that you sit in a pod for a while before you come back. And then if you live forever, then how do you keep procreating? You keep making babies. Very interesting concept. Okay, everyone, thank you for listening. This is Holly Hall from AskHollyHall.com. Subscribe, like, thumbs up. It really helps me out. And we'll talk to you tomorrow at 8 o'clock every night. Come here, Eastern time. Namaste.